Smith Wesson Model 1854 Stealth Hunter. Let's check it out. Yeah, Smith & Wesson really surprised me with the introduction of the Model 1854. Lever action rifle, it's totally different than what Smith & Wesson has traditionally done with their revolvers, semi-automatics. And coming in with a good lever action rifle, which is as Americana as it gets. A big part of the Western expansion and the frontier days and cowboy and Indians. But one big thing about lever actions is that it makes an excellent hunting rifle. It has been used all across America for generations. But even today, the lever action rifle is very popular. And while their Model 1854 was introduced with a lot of modern features, they've now introduced the Stealth Hunter. Now, a lot of guys are taking their lever action rifles, they're putting forearms on them, I mean, they're tacking them out. It's one of the things that Smith & Wesson has done with the Stealth Hunter. There's a lot you can do with this rifle, including threaded barrel, M-lock rail, a large Picatinny rail, and other things. And this really brings the lever action rifle up to modern standards. And one of the things about a lever action rifle is very fast to shoot. And it's very handy, it's lightweight, it's easy to maneuver, especially if you're hunting, but even in a self-defense situation, especially for those who are limited with round capacities or for your modern sporting rifles. So this gives you a great option. Having a lever action rifle is just one of those things that can slow things down a little bit, but it kind of brings you back to those old frontier days. Well guys, when the Model 1854 came out, Smith & Wesson unveiled it back in 2024. It came in only 44 Magnum. There were some upgrades to just a standard lever action, including a Picatinny rail section. We have some M-lock on the handguards, threaded barrel, and it does have a removable magazine tube. Polymer stock, all stainless steel construction. Now with the new Stealth Hunter and others, they have introduced 357 Magnum, 45 Colt, and 44 Magnum. And I have a feeling they're going to be offering some other calibers coming up. So while the original Model 1854 had a lot of tactical features to it, the new Stealth Hunter goes way beyond. And one of the things about lever actions, it's gotten to be very popular to really upgrade and update the lever action rifle. It's handy, it's fast, it's great for hunting, but it's also great for self-defense. And if you live in a state that has a lot of restrictions, especially on semi-automatics, a good lever action does have a lot of appeal. We have a 416 stainless steel receiver, and it has the Armonite finish, which is a black nitride type finish. That is going to give it really double protection. This is going to be an all-weather rifle. Stainless steel is going to be great, but that Armonite finish is also very protectant. Have a 16-inch barrel. It's 410 stainless steel. And we do have a threaded barrel, and this is in 357 Magnum, and so it's 5/8 by 24-inch thread pitch. You can put a muzzle brake on here, or of course you can put a suppressor. We're going to check the magazine, it's empty, and the chamber's empty. Now one of the big changes with the Stealth Hunter is this M-lock rail. This is a proprietary rail from Smith & Wesson. We have a number of slots, 5 on each side, and then we have 5 on the bottom. And so this gives you a lot of ability to put lights, lasers, bipod, anything that will fit the M-lock system. And it has vent holes all the way through just to lighten the weight. But this is really one of the biggest features of the Stealth Hunter. With the original version, with the glass-filled nylon, we had M-LOK slots at 9, 6, and 3 o'clock. And that's great, but this just gives you a lot of capability, even though this does give you some options. Now they have a large loop, which I like, and it makes it really easy to grab hold of, especially with gloved hands, and the action is incredibly smooth. Smith & Wesson really did this right, and obviously with all the other type firearms that they use, and then coming in with the lever action, they really wanted to hit the market strong. You also have a flat trigger, and that just helps with the geometry of the trigger. It makes it more of a straight pullback. And obviously when you bring your lever out, it just brings the hammer into the rear position. But with the flat face trigger, it makes a really nice trigger pull. Of course, black Armonite finish. We have the side loading gate, which I really like, and we do have side eject as well. On the 1894s from Winchester, they were out the top, and it really caused some issues with mounting optics to it. And speaking of which, we have a 10.5-inch Picatinny rail section. Now, the one thing about this is we can actually go with a standard red dot, we can go with scope, but we can also go with a scout setup. So you can have a long eye relief scope out here at the end, and it makes it really fast in the field. Jeff Cooper was really big about the scout setups, and they are extremely quick to get on target. And to be honest, if you wanted to use this for hog hunting, you could actually put some kind of laser system designator, and then you could have night vision or even thermal. It just gives you a lot of real estate. And you have a tubular magazine, and this way it just allows for really quick unloading. But it doesn't allow for loading. So a lot of times we have a tube or a sleeve that comes down, especially on the Henry rifles, and we can load through the magazine. But one thing that Henry did was they kept that and then added the side loading gate. It was one of the things that a lot of people really wanted, was that side loading. One of the beautiful things is you can top this off really fast in the field. And so you fire a couple of rounds, you can put 2 additional rounds into the magazine. We have XS sights, ghost ring sight, and this is mounted to the pick rail. And then here at the front we have a fiber optic, and this is high-vis sights. It's the H3 fiber optic. This can be removed if you want to put something else on it, but one of the things about fiber optic is even in low light, you can pick that fiber optic rod up, and then in daylight it's definitely very bright. It picks up any available light. And we have our crossbolt safety, and of course it's on safe, and it can't be deployed unless the hammer's in the rear position. So we just push it down, and now we're on safe, and we're going to lock that hammer down. It's a very safe system. Now here at the back we have a synthetic stock. We have a slight pistol grip, we have texturing, 3 panels, and it does come down to be able to allow that thumb to get around. This is a really nice stock system, and that polymer just gives it a very tactical look, and yet it's very purposeful. I mean, this is going to withstand the elements, and a lot of times wood can be even heavier. Now we have a sling mount embedded in the stock, and here on the end of the forearm with the M-LOK rail we do have a mount as well. Very nice rubber butt pad. This is just going to rest on your shoulder. You know, the 44, 45 Colt or the 357 Magnum really doesn't have a whole lot of recoil, but this just allows this to rest on your shoulder and not slip off. And it does give you some cushioning. And it does have the Smith & Wesson logo embossed in the pad. Now we're coming in at 6.5 pounds, which makes it a lightweight option. And again, you're carrying this in the field. It makes it really handy, easy to bring around, easy to deploy, and very fast. I mean, for a lever action rifle to have 8 rounds ready to go, and again, we can put on a suppressor, we can put on our lights, lasers, optics. There's a ton of different options that you can bring this into. And this is really bringing, again, that lever action rifle into a defensive weapon or for an excellent hunting rifle. Well guys, check out suchgear.com. We have just revamped our website, including monthly giveaways. We also have a weekly newsletter. There's a lot of deals. Also, we have contraband videos, and we have a lot of merch, including some Richardson ball caps that are for the Such Nation. Also, we do t-shirts as well in all sizes. We also have patches, which we have a number of different designs, and we do stickers. So check out suchgear.com. Big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammo. We have 357 Magnum, and then we have 38 Special, which just gives you less recoil. A lot of fun just to shoot, typically a little cheaper. You're getting a lot of power with 357 Magnum, and it's great to see Smith & Wesson offering that in their Model 1854. And it goes right with their 357 Magnum revolvers. Of course, we have our loading gate here, and it loads into a tube. So we're going to just load up some rounds. that loading gate, and you just get it past the gate and it locks it in. And there's just something about a lever action rifle. And when you get into pistol calibers like 357 or 44 Magnum, they're a lot of fun to shoot, but they make great brush guns. You know, just good for up close, 100, 150 yards. Taking the Smith & Wesson 1854 and bringing it down a notch, honestly. And of course, 357 Magnum is a very capable round. Then you can go with your 38s, but honestly, 357 in this is very soft to shoot. But the big story about this rifle is the Picatinny rail on the top, gives you a lot of real estate for optics, and you have the M-LOK. I mean, this is decked out more like a tactical type lever action, especially for states that can't own an AR-15 or they have limited round capacity. This just gives you a great option. 8+1 in the tubular magazine. Of course, we have a Surefire Scout on here, which just fits well on that M-LOK. I love the sights, the ghost ring at the back and that fiber optic at the front. But we were shooting it with a Trijicon little 1.5 power ACOG, and it was a lot of fun to shoot. So it gives you just a lot of capability with this rifle. We have a nice rubberized butt pad, but again, it's so soft to shoot. And it's great to see Smith & Wesson coming into the lever action market. And with the other designs, I mean, they were the traditional, but now we've gone more to the tactical. I mean, that ghost ring sight with that fiber optic, it just shines. I mean, it really shows up well. Hammer, spur, you can bring that back if you want. Has the cross bolt safety around the hammer. Of course, you can deck this out however you want to. So it's just one of those fun, traditional Americana lever actions, and yet they've brought it up to date for 2025. And again, just great to see Smith & Wesson offering a really quality lever action rifle. And it is threaded. So we didn't put a suppressor on it, but we could definitely do that, and it already comes ready to go. And guys, really, you can go pretty quick. You know, you can really take this and you can really get those rounds off fast. And in a hunting situation, it's great. Get into a tactical situation, you want those rounds. Then with that side loading gate, just load in 8 more and you're ready to go. Love the large lever, love the texturing on the grip, gives you a good solid purchase. Overall, I mean, this is just a beautiful rifle. Now, one thing about cleaning a lever action rifle, a lot of people want to take your cleaning rod and put it down the bore of the barrel. Well, one of the problems is you can mess up your rifling. And so that's one thing you don't want to do. You want to clean it from the breech. Now, you can run a bore snake. In fact, we have one of the Otis bore snakes. This is a real easy way to drop it into the chamber, and then you can just snake it through. And it has these weights on it. And then you can actually put attachments on here for your cleaning patches, for your brush, whatever you want to do. And then you just run it down through it, and then it comes out the other side. That's a real easy way to do it without having to disassemble the rifle. But disassembly is not a big deal, and you need to be able to do it on occasion. And 2, you want to get the debris out the end of the barrel instead of into your action. Another thing is you want for the debris from the barrel to go outside, not back into your action. So we're going to remove the lever, and with the Smith & Wesson 1854 you can use a hex wrench, which I like better than a standard flathead. And so we're just going to go ahead and take off our lever. It's real easy to do. Once it gets past the threads, you can typically pull it out. Then we're going to take our lever and we're just going to pull that straight out. And this is a great time to be able to clean the lever. You can take a brush and just clean it off. You can actually do a little lubrication, but overall it's just one solid piece. Next, we're going to bring the hammer back. Probably should have racked this to bring the bolt back, but it'll come back easy enough with my thumb. And then take the hammer and just depress it and then bring the bolt right out. Now you can clean your bolt and you can really maintain it and clean the breech face. You have an ejector right here, so you need to pull that out. Typically it just comes through and is secure by this hole. And as we drop it out, you can see it has that little detent where it fits right into the side of the receiver. And that way you know that you're putting it in the right place and it's just under spring tension. And so now you can actually clean the rifle barrel going from the back, from the chamber and receiver, and go all the way down and come out the end. And so that way you can use a cleaning rod if you want to use it. Personally, if I'm in the field, I love to have that bore snake. I mean, these rip cords are just excellent. And it gets all the fouling and debris out of the barrel. But taking a good brush and being able to clean those areas, and that's important as well. And if there's any kind of dirt or anything in there, you want to get that out as well. A little bit of lubrication goes a long way as well, and you want to get those areas that are high stress. You don't want to have a lot of lubrication on your bolt because of the firing pin, but just make sure it's nice and clean. On the bolt you have a small slot, and the lever arm fits right into that slot, and that's what brings this back and forth. So we're going to have to make sure we get it lined up. So we're going to take our bolt and we're going to depress our hammer as we do. Then we're just going to bring this in. I'm going to put my lever in and line it up with the bolt. And I'm going to test the lever to make sure that the bolt is operating. Next, I'm going to take the bolt for the lever, go ahead and put it into place. Now we're going to operate it, make sure that it's functioning. You have to get it in that slot in the bolt or it's going to lock up. And we're back in business. One of the great things I love about Otis is they have their rip cords. And these are suppliers to the U.S. military. And this is a great way in the field to be able to keep this clean. But if you need to take things apart, we do have cleaning rods that you can use from the chamber area out. And of course, with their Shooter's Choice CLP, and all the other things that they have. I mean, Otis makes a great system to keep your rifle and handguns maintained. And we want to give a big thank you to Otis for being a sponsor of the channel. When it comes to MSRP, $13.99 for the Stealth Hunter, $12.79 for the original configuration. And then if you get it in the walnut stock with the black Armonite finish, that runs $13.99 as well. And of course, market price is going to be less at your dealer. So what are pros and cons? Well, when it comes to the Stealth Hunter, you're getting a lot of accessories, the M-LOK rail, the extended Picatinny rail, the black Armonite finish, the shorter barrel, which makes it very compact. I mean, just over 16 inches. It makes this an option that when you're carrying it, 6.5 pounds in the field, it makes it really light option. And one thing about lever action rifles is they're very fast and handy. Again, you can put that scout setup if you want to have a long eye relief scope with this type rail, but then you can have a red dot, you can have a standard scope, you can put all kind of accessories that are M-LOK compatible. The finish is beautiful, and the composite stock is just well fitted to your shoulder. And honestly, 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum, and 45 Colt are fairly light recoil rounds in a rifle. And you're getting a lot more ballistics than you would with a handgun. And the Stealth Hunter really ups the game with all these accessories over even the original Model 1854. Now, the one thing about the 1854 is it does have the pick rail, it does have M-LOK, it does have a threaded barrel. This just extends it out. But really, both are great rifles. So what are some cons? Well, it's a lever action rifle. It's going to be a little slower than your semi-automatic, but it's going to skirt a lot of the restrictions that are placed on semi-automatic rifles. You have your rimmed pistol calibers, which is going to be an advantage as well. But again, it is a little slower. Otherwise, there's not really any cons. It's just a totally different type action. And the lever action kind of is reminiscent of the Old West and of American hunters for generations. So whether you go with the Stealth Hunter, whether you go with the original model 1854, or you go with the walnut stock versions, which are absolutely beautiful, that get it back to that classic, I think Smith & Wesson is just coming out with a lot of choices in their lever action line. And guys, that's the big thing. It's all about choices. Guys, there's just something about a good lever action rifle that just kind of takes you back in time. And yet, with Smith & Wesson, with their Stealth Hunter, it gives you all the modern features where you can do whatever you want to this rifle, make it very effective, great for hunting, great for self-defense, and yet it still gives you that light, handy option. And again, a huge thank you to Smith & Wesson for sending the Stealth Hunter Model 1854 for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Oh.
Oh. And we are just doing...
Well guys, the Model 1854 came out, let's see, is that right? Is that right? So Smith & Wesson took it up. And so while the original 1854 was definitely, did I say 54? I don't think I said 54. Lining that up with our ejector. Oh, there it goes, crap. Guys, Smith & Wesson really, and then just bring your bolt and put it back into play. Oops, no. At the beginning, so for about a year, okay.